But most people we found don't do this at all. And next year, they just like, man, this is going to be my year. No, it's the same habits from last year. And the same habits yield the same results. Everything is habitual, guys. 95% of what we do in this world is out of habit. And so if we shift those habits, then we shift the results. So it's not, oh, man, I'm going after this lifestyle this year, 2025. Well, no, because lifestyle comes from results, and results come from an activity, and an activity comes from an attitude shift. An attitude shift comes from a philosophy. And so that starts to say, why should I change this habit? Right? Why should I do this thing? And if you do that thing, that activity long enough, you shift that habit.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience. I am Tracy Self. This is Darnell Self. My buddy right here, my partner in crime. It's the top of the year. So, but you know what? How long do you think you should say Happy New Year?
I think all throughout January you should
all
say.
Throughout? No.
Yeah.
I don't think I want somebody telling me January 28th, Happy New Year. I think that's too long.
Yeah,
I think like 2 weeks.
No, but if you haven't talked to that person and it's your first time in the beginning of the year, I think it's appropriate to still say, hey, Happy New Year, man. It's good to hear your voice.
Okay.
Right? It's the first month still, I think. Maybe a couple of weeks.
I think too.
Happy New Year, Self-Talk Experience audience. How about that? All right. We still early in 2025. It's exciting to have you guys. Remember, self-talk is critically important. We say 70,000 plus things to ourselves every single day.
How many of those thoughts are about me that you say to yourself?
Most.
Yay.
Yep. How can I make her smile? What else can I do to make her happy? What else can I do to make her heart melt?
I like it.
Yeah. But we say a lot of things to ourselves. Should I wake up earlier? Should I do one more set like in the gym? Am I done? Is this too heavy? Can I push a little bit harder? I mean, can I stay up a little bit later? Should I read one more page?
Right.
Should I read this book, period? So these are all things we say to ourselves. We don't necessarily say them out loud. So if we have more conversations with ourselves, which we do, wouldn't it be critically important to shape those things? Because the things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what we attract for ourselves. And that is really our theme behind doing the Self-Talk Experience podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's an incredible mission to help other people say kind things to themselves. We know it's really shaped our lives and the results that we enjoy today on the lifestyle that we're blessed to live today.
So, what do you want to talk about today on the Self-Talk Experience?
Because it's a new year still.
Happy New Year, babe.
We should talk, and we say this on an Instagram Live for those who follow us on Instagram. By the way, if you don't follow her yet on Instagram, please do.
Yay!
Yeah, so... But we said on the Instagram Live, we said that we wanted to talk about what we've done consistently over the past few years. We've always done it, but we've taken it up a notch over the past few years, and it's really helped to elevate our results dramatically, like a quantum leap of results.
But you know what I thought about, babe? Even before what you're about to talk about, we were in the process of doing that anyway, because every Sunday we would sit and do our calendar for the week.
Right.
So we were already in the process of setting goals for the week way back when, years and years ago.
True.
Right?
Yeah, we've always been intentional about our weeks because it's so easy. What we found, this is like you said, decades ago, what we found was at the end of a day or the end of a week, guys, we would say things like, man, we were supposed to do this. We were supposed to do that. It felt like we were continuing to miss out on things that we said were going to be important for us.
But we didn't put it in the calendar.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And we realized that, right? Upon some reflection, which is important. We're going to talk about today, like how do you do this? Well, reflection is important because otherwise you don't even realize why you're missing out on certain things and missing goals and not hitting goals, right? And it's all because, we don't reflect. We don't say, man, what am I doing that's keeping me? Why does this seem cyclical? Like every year, every month, every week, I keep saying, no, this is going to be my week. Okay, for real now, this is going to be my month. All right, we starting up again. What do you say about when we're starting our health journey again?
Oh,
back at it? No, we said something.
Wait, what do we say? What you talking
I'm
about?
back on.
Oh,
I'm back there. So
it's
she's
kind of like that thing on the wagon, off the wagon. You know which one is which.
yeah. She's like, all right, I'm back on Monday after I finish, eating anything I want and having a drink tonight. I'm back on. I'm like, okay. So my point is that you're absolutely right. We've been doing this for a long time. We're excited about sharing it with you all, our audience. It doesn't take a long time for us to share it. It takes longer for you to make it a habit than it does for us to share it. Sharing it's going to be the easy part because it's what we've lived. But our audience, for you all and for us, right? Because this is always, we're talking to ourselves too. Self-talk.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
We want to continue to get better, and we've been blessed to continue to intentionally get better every single year through this. So, but you're right. Let's take it back a little bit because we used to do this weekly. And all right, this week, what are the most important things? What do we need to adjust? Is there anything that you can do that I can't do, that I can do that you can't do? And this is especially for those who have more than one child. You would, all right, you're doing the PTA. I'm taking, the kids to football practice. You're doing dance, or maybe you mixed up both, or maybe got the help of your sister or your mom or my cousin.
Right. Also, babe, we also put things in the calendar that were important. So we would talk about, hey, I really would like for you to come to this, this, and this. And then you would say, okay, I can only come to 2 of those. Which 2 are the most important to you for me to be attending?
Right.
So we did talk about stuff like that because you feel like, I can't believe you didn't come to this and you missed this. But if your anticipation is that they're not going to make it, but they did make something else, it kind of sets you up better mentally to be prepared and not be disappointed as much.
Yeah. And we've talked about that in the previous episode, how disappointment comes from an expectation that's not been met. And so if we can, manage expectations, then we can also manage disappointment. And it does take some compromise, right? Because, you could have easily said, all 3 are important. Why can't you make it all 3? Well, but we said we wanted to accomplish this, right? And if we still want to accomplish this, can we make 2 of them most important? And then the other one perhaps is a sacrifice for us to be able to reach the goal that we said was important for us.
But that's a lesson right there too, because oftentimes we don't even ask the question. So I ask you, can you come to 3 things? And you say, no, I can come to 2, but we don't ask how many can you come to?
Right.
And you don't ask, well, which one is more important to you?
Right.
So when you ask the right questions, you've taught me that you have to ask better questions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to say, well, I may be able to make 2 of them. What are the times? Right? You can ask the questions. Oh, can a time be adjusted?
Right.
Actually, the time could be adjusted. My mom could push it back to 2 instead of having it at 1.
Yeah.
But because you didn't ask the questions, it's like, well, why couldn't Darnell be here at 1? We could have had it at 2. Well, the right questions weren't asked.
Yeah.
So that's really important too, even in doing that.
No, that's so good. Like one of the questions, and for those who are listening to this on one of our audio platforms, you may not be able to understand what I'm about to say, but one of my questions is, I just see like little words on your T-shirt, and it's distracting because I'm trying to figure out what the rest of your T-shirt says. So can you stand up a little bit so we can see? Okay, coffee is my love language. Okay, all right. Okay. Bougie Beans, if you don't follow the real Bougie Beans.
Give me a follow.
Yep, on Instagram. So she's a coffee connoisseur no matter where we are. By the way, we're in Miami right now, so this probably looks like a hotel room for those who are watching. For those who are listening, again, I'm boring you right now.
We're still on location.
Yeah, we're out and about. And so that brings us to the next 10 minutes that we have here with today's episode, which I'm really excited about you guys being able to take this information and study it and then make it a habit, because this isn't like hypothetical. This isn't something that we're hoping will work. We are living proof that this will help to elevate you in all areas of your life. Spiritually, health-wise, financially. Every area of our life, emotionally, it is taking us to a whole another level. We're about to teach right now with today's episode of the Self-Talk Experience. But I'll show you our view here in Miami in just 1 second for those who are watching. So, by the way, you can find us on YouTube. So when I say watch, if you're like, well, where do we go? Just go to YouTube. You can put in my name, Darnell Self. You can put in Tracy Self. That's Tracy with an I. You can put in Self-Talk Experience and it'll pop up. And so go check out some previous episodes as well. So you ready to teach?
Sure.
All right, great. So we're going to talk about every year. For the past handful of years, we have gone away. And guys, it could be a staycation. We just ask that you try to shift the environment that you're normally in because it does something to your mind. It's like when authors go away to write the book, right? To find that creativity. They go to maybe a log cabin or just somewhere different. If they enjoy water and listen to the waves, they just go to a place where they can truly meditate and tap in. And so I ask that you do that, right? Get away from your normal setting.
It could be up the street if you live in a warm area.
Absolutely right.
And sit in the park.
Yep.
Have a picnic.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a
That's
big
exactly
trip.
right. Yep, it doesn't.
Right?
It doesn't.
Just a change of scenery.
Yep. They have those work places and spaces now.
Yes,
you can
they
even
do.
do something like that, right? So just be creative with it, but just try to get away from your normal setting. So we do that
And make it fun.
Yep. And we're blessed with the burden of choice, as I've been calling it lately, from our friend Amari Hughes. Like, man, you got the burden of choice. Just means that we have a lot of choices to make, and one of the choices we made was to come out of the colder weather in Maryland and to come down here to Miami at the beginning of the year to do this. So what we do every year is we take a look at the previous year. And when we take a look at the previous year, if you're taking notes, we take a look at what worked, what didn't work, what worked so we can do more of it. We're like, oh man, is there any way to 10x that? Is there any way to do more of that? Sometimes it's no, let's just consistently do it. And then the compounding, it still works. Like it's those, like you ever met people who, they don't do any like aggressive investing, but because they've been consistent with their investments over a period of time, it doesn't matter. They have turned out to be extraordinarily wealthy.
Right.
And it's just they just stay consistent with their investments. Nothing crazy, nothing risky. It's the same thing we're talking about right now. So sometimes it's just you doing the same little things over and over when other people aren't doing them. And then 5 years from now, we're like, hold on. How in the world you guys buy your third house? Or how in the world you guys got another investment property? And it's because you've just been slowly but surely doing the things that have been working and slowly but surely eliminated the things that have been taken away from what we say we want.
Little decisions made over time.
Yep, exactly.
Right? It
We
doesn't
call it
have to
slight
be
edge.
big.
Yep. Yep, slight edge. So it's just a simple discipline done over a period of time, which sometimes is not even noticed by the average person, right? Seemingly not making a difference at all that you're eating an apple a day rather than a burger a day. You know what I mean? It's like tomorrow nobody looks different.
Right.
But over time, and that's all we're saying, take a look at last year or some things you're like, oh my gosh, this worked out so well for us with our relationship. I feel like we're better friends. We should continue to do that. Is reading together helping? If so, continue to read. Don't stop. You're like, man, why did we used to read together? Now we don't.
Right.
All used to read and I would read something different and we just talk about what did you get, what did I get? And I felt like it was cliff notes from your book. You got cliff notes from my book, even if we didn't read the same book, but we're growing together. We're still growing.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that just reminds me we should do that more often. So again, taking a look at last year, what worked, what didn't work. Anything else you want to say on that one?
No, but also I think it's important to have it in categories, right? Because we have household goals, we have family goals, and then we have personal relationship goals. And just being open to whatever the conversation looks like. Because if you want to have a conversation about what works, that's always great. For you to tell somebody, you did this was amazing. I love when we did this was great. But that's great because everybody likes positive feedback.
Yep.
But you also have to be open to things that you may not want to hear or things that you felt were going well, but the other person didn't see it that way.
Right.
So sometimes that's hard.
Yeah.
So going into goal setting, we also have to prepare ourselves for change or hearing things that may hurt a little bit or may stretch you, right? Like I really would like for you to do A, B, C, and you might say, oh, I'll do A and B, but C is kind of a stretch. But if you're working together and that's what someone needs from you, then you make the extra effort.
That's really good.
Right?
That's really good. And so I think it's important to say, look, let's come to this with an open mind because it is called growing pains for a reason. And growth, change, sometimes doesn't feel good because you're challenging your existing comfort zone. And let's just be vulnerable. Like as a part of goal setting this year and planning and reflecting, Tracy said to me, hey, I know it's been more recent since you've lost your dad, since she's lost her brother, which was a couple of decades ago. And so she's like, am I saying all the things you need me to say? Because I don't want to say too much and cause you to be sad, but I don't want you to think I'm not thinking about you on certain dates or holidays or the death date of my dad. She's like, should I be saying? So again, those are the type of conversations we're saying that sometimes it's like, I don't know if I should bring this up, but those are the conversations we have so that we can be better for each other too,
Right.
as friends,
Yeah.
not just spouses, but as a friend. You know, what is it? Do you want me to say something more, do something more? So those in all areas of our lives, we challenge ourselves to be even better friends, better in terms of our responsibilities, the things that we've chosen. We're not saying masculine or feminine responsibilities. We're just saying responsibilities, period. You know, like, what is it that I can do more of? What is it that perhaps I didn't do that you like for me to do more of? Like a few years ago, she was like, can you start bringing me fresh flowers? I'm like, you don't even like flowers. She's like, I do now. I'm like, oh, but I wouldn't have known. And if she would have been waiting for me, like, he doesn't even bring me flowers. Well, you didn't tell me you like flowers. When we got married, she was like, don't bring me flowers. I don't like flowers. I was like, okay, you got it. But that changed. So that's the type of thing we're talking about.
Yes, and I think too it's important, like you said, to be somewhere different, to change the scenery, because when you have these conversations, sometimes you can after say, okay, you know what? Let's go downstairs and go have some food,
Right.
or let's go do this because
Go to
we're
the beach,
yeah,
or-
because we're
yeah.
at this location, and kind of break it up. You don't have to sit for
Right.
5 hours
Yep.
and have a session the way
Yep.
we do it. We kind of break it up a little bit.
Yep.
Last night I said, let's just start now. So we had an hour,
Yep.
and we checked a few things off our list, and then after that, we went and did something fun.
Yep.
So it kind of breaks it up a little bit, because you don't really have time to be angry about something or sad about something. You can kind of sit with it a little bit, but move on to something else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because if you're at home in the house and you're sitting there and you had this conversation, it's kind of like, well, I think I'm just going to go to bed now. Right? But
No, it's true.
when you're away or you're somewhere different,
Yeah.
you can get up and say, okay, let's go for a walk.
Right. And sometimes that's why we take 2 days, right? We don't take a long time. It's like, and you can vacation for five days if you want. We're just saying what works for us. You can make the adjustments according to your lifestyle, what you have going on.
Exactly.
Maybe your kids are smaller, so we can go away for a couple of days because our kids are older, right? They're young adults. So we're just saying what works for us, but take it. And we always say, eat the fruit and spit out the seeds. So, make it work for you.
Yes.
Don't say, oh man, we can't go away. We can't afford to fly. Listen, do what works for you is all we're saying. We're saying that 2 days works for us because you're able to wake up and say, hey, I was thinking about our conversation yesterday or earlier this morning. All right. That's why we break it up, because it gives us time, as Tracy said, to sit on it for a little bit and really think about it. And you can even come back to some of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's perfect. It's been working.
Yeah, so reflection's important, right? What last year, 2 years ago, we also would recommend that you could be doing this by yourself, by the way, if you're single, right? It works by yourself, right? So it's self-talk. But it also works with a best friend, right? Those who you count on for support, those who you count on to be a listening ear,
It
a
could be one
sounding
of your
board.
adult children.
It could be exactly. So I just don't want you to think it has to be a spouse, right? So for all of our single friends watching, so just know that, again, make the adjustments according to your life and what it is that you like to see. But we just do this in all areas. So in our health, like, what does that look like now? Can we do more of it? Like we're going on a particular regimen here at the beginning of the year that we've done before, and we're just going to do it again. We know what it looks like. We know what it's going to take. We travel a lot. So what does that look like? Why we travel? Because we believe in being specific and concise with our goals. The only way it really works, like, hey, at 1:00, this would happen. You have the smoothie at 2, because otherwise it gets away. You're like, oh, I was supposed to. But so our calendar is our boss, like legit our boss.
Yes.
And so we just make sure that everything we say we're going to do is in our calendar, and it's very specific. Even if it's, hey, so are you going to be able to go to the cleaners more? Because it gives me time to do more of this, which gives us an opportunity to get closer to our goals faster.
And also, babe, we also too have to remember to give ourselves grace, because even though you put 10 things in the calendar, if one day only 8 of them get done, it's okay.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up.
Yep.
Just figure out how to maneuver it into the next day or the next week.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. That's absolutely
A
right.
lot of times we get so upset and our anxiety gets high because we can't get everything done but it was in the calendar.
Yep.
The self said we need to put in the calendar. Now we're not even getting it done.
Right.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes these things happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the questions sound like this, just to give you some examples. If there were 3 things that I could do better this year over last year, what would those 3 things be? If there was something that I could stop doing that would make life easier for you, what would that be? If my conversation, when we have, tough conversations, quote unquote, can I say it better? And if that's the case, how would you like for me to say it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it. So the question sounds something like that. And it allows the person to say, well, sometimes when you're in a rush, it comes out aggressive, like as if I did something wrong. So I would love for you to say it this one, like, okay, I can do that. Hey, oh, is it okay? And so it starts this whole conversation about how to get better, guys. And this is all about us becoming better, right? I want to be a better dad, a better man, a better leader, better husband, better, right? So I just want to be better, a better child of God. I want to be better. But how do I become better without taking a look at the things that are stopping me from becoming better and asking people who I trust, how can I become better?
And also, don't forget the positive things.
Mm-hmm.
What have I been doing that is amazing? What do you
Yeah.
want me to do more of? What do I do that makes you smile?
Yeah.
What do I do that brings you joy? You
Right.
have to have both of those,
Yep.
right? To
Yep.
kind of balance it out a little bit.
Yep.
And being open to, you're not really doing a lot to bring me joy. Okay, if I'm not, tell me what I can do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And these are and look, guys, again, these are the same questions you can ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what conversation am I having with myself that's, self-sabotaging my goals, that's defeating, that making me feel defeated. I'm like, I need to stop saying, I can't believe I'm the big one in the room, or I can't believe that whatever it is, that because people, we say those things to ourselves.
Right.
So this is even, again, if you're doing this by yourself, it's even some self-talk we have to have. Like, man, what am I saying to myself that I don't like, that I need to stop saying? So we're just excited because most folks, I told you it wasn't complicated, it's really simple, but most people we found don't do this at all. And next year, they just like, man, this is going to be my year. No, it's the same habits from last year. And the same habits yield the same results. Everything is habitual, guys. 95% of what we do in this world is out of habit. And so if we shift those habits, then we shift the results. So it's not, man, I'm going after this lifestyle this year, 2025. Well, no, because lifestyle comes from results, and results come from an activity, and an activity comes from an attitude shift. An attitude shift comes from a philosophy. And so that starts to say, why should I change this habit? Right? Why should I do this thing? And if you do that thing, that activity long enough, you shift that habit. Now you just do this differently. People say, man, how do you do that? I don't know. It's a habit. You don't think about it. It's just what you do. People ask often, how do you guys, man, you guys are all over the place. It's a habit. I don't even look at travel as it's hectic and, oh man, I got a schedule, I got to pack. I pack the morning of sometimes just because it's a habit now for us, you see? So everything is a habit, my friends. And so this is not a new year for you. It's just another year unless we change our habits. And we only change our habits if we address the ones that we want to shift, because you have to replace it with something. Habits just can't stop. They have to be replaced. And when they're replaced and you do that thing long enough, then that's the new habit. I'm so excited for you guys.
Absolutely. I was going to say something. My dad in 2024, one of his habits was calling someone every other week that he doesn't usually talk to,
That's good.
and telling them that he loved them, or
Wow.
telling them that he missed them, or whatever he felt about the person.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot to so many people, but he made that a habit. So just maybe habits, even like that, something that you can do to make someone feel better. Our son Malik has a podcast, Growing in Faith, and his tagline is the best. He says, do something nice, say something nice, because it can change someone's life.
Yeah.
So let's do more of that
Yeah.
in 2025.
Yeah.
And I think that it'll be better for everyone that's around us to be better.
No, you're absolutely right, guys. And shout out to Malik Self. Go follow him on Instagram, Growing in Faith, and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. I think you'll be excited. Again, someone young telling other people the importance of growing in faith. So, hey guys, we're in Miami. So let me
pick this up for
yeah,
you.
let me show you guys real quickly the nice view out there. Downtown Miami, right around South Beach and downtown Miami. So we got the best of both worlds hanging out here. So we're about to go hang out some more and continue our goal setting sessions. And we look forward to another great season of the Self-Talk Experience. So January, February, and March. For those who like to follow us live, continue to check us out. Every Thursday, we launch.
We launch every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Every Thursday up till March.
Yep, every Thursday. Then we take a break for 3 months, and we're right back. Okay, so we have 2 seasons every single year. 2 seasons off, 2 seasons on. It gives all of our audience a chance to go back and catch up on episodes that you may miss. And that's okay, right? Just make it a habit out of growing yourself. Hey guys, remember, this is a self-talk experience. The things we say to ourselves about ourselves eventually determines what and even who we attract for ourselves.
And make it a habit to be nice to me. See you guys.
See you guys. Take care.
Happy New Year.
Ooh.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.